What's up, everybody? This is Rukia Hadassah, and I am coming to you once more again with a brief message, and it's simply entitled Humble Yourself and Pray. I don't want to keep anyone too long because I know we all have a lot on our plates and things going on in our lives, and a lot of things are occupying our minds. But I'm further inspired and feel led by the Ruach HaKodesh to send a message to my people today that it is time for us as a people to humble ourselves and pray. Why am I saying this? Because I understand that there are so many distractions and so many issues and things going on right now that continue to interrupt our thoughts and invade our minds, which I truly believe the enemy is taking advantage of and using against us and causing us to falter. It is past time for us as a people to humble ourselves and pray. As much as we all believe, we think we have the answer, and we know this and we know that, and there are just debates raging within our people right now. Everyone wants to believe that they have the answer. Everybody wants to believe that, okay, the earth is flat. No, the earth is round. Well, I know where Israel is. Well, I think it's over here and I think it's over there. None of that matters anymore. None of it. And it's very unsettling to me that we continue to put discussions like this at the forefront when at the end of the day, at the end of all of this, no one is going to gain or lose the kingdom because they believed that the earth was flat or they believed that the earth was round. No one is going to gain or lose the kingdom because they believed that Israel was in Africa or over here and wherever. That is so immaterial to what is really going on in this world right now. I believe that these discussions are being injected into our discussion to disrupt what the end game is. The end game is not for someone to win a prize because they believe that certain things were this and that. We're just so off course right now with these discussions. And I feel like the Father is just calling me into a place to recenter, refocus, and I believe He's calling all of us to a place to recenter and refocus our attention on Him, to put everything else out of our minds and everything else out of our thoughts and just simply focus on Him. If my people, if my a conditional statement. And it is contingent upon the people. It is not about what we want the Most High to do, what we think the Most High is going to do. It is about us simply coming to terms with a simple command. If my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sins and will heal their land. All of these other discussions that we're having are they're replacing this one simple scripture. Who amongst us, who amongst the body of believers would argue at this point to let's just keep arguing about where Israel is. Let's keep arguing about whether the earth is flat or not. Let's keep arguing about the dress code for women in Israel and all of these things that are simply so immaterial to the kingdom. When we know that the Father is going to work all of this out, we're spending all of our time spinning our wheels, going back and forth over subjects that we have made more important than humbling ourselves and praying and seeking the Father's face and turning from our wicked ways and hearing from and allowing the Father and watching the Father hear from heaven to forgive our sin and heal our land. What else is more important than that right now? That is a very real and a very valid question. We're in trouble right now. We are in trouble. We know the things that they're doing to us. We know the agendas that they have launched against us. We know that there are conspiracies galore that our enemies are forming against us. Why on earth? Knowing everything that we know and having gone through everything that we have gone through, why would we continue to allow them to disrupt our praise, to disrupt our commitment to call on the name of the Most High Yah? Would you rather sit around for another 400 years discussing and arguing and bickering and debating about what his name really is and what clothes a woman should be wearing and all of these things that have just simply drowned out our prayers? They literally are drowning out our prayers. Is this what we're going to do? Are we going to fall for the enemy's tricks once again? Every day we get up and we put these debates before the Most High because everybody wants to be right. Everybody thinks that they're right. But at the end of the day, we're all wrong. We are all wrong. We have all gone astray. We have family members, friends, and neighbors that are lost, that are giving themselves over to the agenda of our enemies rather than calling on the name of our Elohim, our Father, which art in heaven. We are not giving esteem to his name. We are not worshiping the Father because everybody wants to be right. At the end of the day, we're all wrong, including myself. I had a very humbling moment today that caused me to cry out to the Father and ask for a reset. And now I'm not just asking for a reset on my own behalf. I'm asking for a reset for my people. Nobody at the end of the day should be arguing that we all want to be out of this debacle. We all want to be out of our enemies' grips. Whether or not you believe that we are Hebrews or ADOS or FBA or African Americans or whatever it is that you believe, we all know one thing, and I know we can agree on this. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. Our enemies are relishing in the fact that we continue to fight amongst ourselves. They're not fighting amongst themselves about whether or not they want to destroy us. We should not be fighting amongst ourselves about whether or not we want to be delivered. This is not about politics, religion. This is not about any of that. Those things are the things that are distracting us from calling on the name of our Elohim with one voice and saying, you know what? None of that matters. Do we want out of this mess or not? Do we want out of seeing our young men and women, in some cases, killing each other in the streets? Do we want out of that? Do we want out of the impoverished neighborhoods, the failing infrastructure of our neighborhoods, the schools, the economy? Do we want out of that? Do we want out of the toxic poisons that they continue to put in our foods and water and air? What else is there to be fighting about or thinking about or talking about? What else is there? At some point, we simply have to decide enough is enough. And knowing what we know, whether you are still a Christian in the church or whether you've come out of the church and you recognize yourself as Hebrew or Kemet or atheist or whatever it is that you're dealing with now. Nation of Islam, all these different, we all know one thing. We all have one thing in common, and ain't nobody about to argue about that. We are in trouble. And how we get out of that, how we've gotten out of it historically, when we've had nations. I know a lot of people don't study history and they don't go back and look at how before slavery there were all of these different captivities that we've been in, because they block that part of our knowledge and understanding. But those of us who do know that we've been in captivity after captivity after captivity, we've had nations to come against us in war. Some of us just think we came from Africa. Well, Africa's under attack as well. We still have millions of us over there in that land who are also under attack. At what point do we decide enough is enough? So I'm going to appeal to my people right now, today. I'm appealing to you, wherever you are, whatever your belief structure is. Let's stop. Let's gather ourselves, starting with the people who understand and know that we are the children of Israel. More of us know that than want to admit it, because a lot of us think that by saying that we are going to disrupt some structure. Let's not do that anymore. If you believe in the Most High Yah, if you believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, let's just start there. Let's just start there. Some of us don't believe in the higher power, the only power. That's all right. Just come into agreement that we're in trouble and that they are lining up. They're getting information. At some point, we need to get information. And believe me, historically speaking, when we get information, stuff changes. When we get information, our Father sits up and takes notice of that. So I'm not going to go on and on and on. This is it. This is all I've got to say. But I'm praying now, and I am pressing my way, because I don't want to be in this situation anymore. I don't care what anybody else believes on these side discussions. I don't care what you believe on whether or not the earth is flat and all of those things. Please just know these are discussions. These are conversations that our enemy is injecting into this awakening, because they know that if they can just keep us talking about anything other than let's fall on our face and call on the name of our Elohim, that is the one thing that is going to bring down their power and bring down their control over us and our minds. We must be willing as a people to break that. So when we finally conclude and decide that only one thing matters, then I think we will see the change that we are longing for. That's all I have for now. Thank you for listening. I pray that the Father continues to be a light and guide us out of this tragic situation that we are in and have been in for more than 400 years. Continue looking up, continue calling on the Father, and He's going to do the rest. Shalom.